In the last video, we found the value of a home based on recent sales. But we left off right when we got to what we call the buyer's eyes and competitive range. In the last video, we found the value based on recent sales, but we left off right when we got to the buyer's eyes, what we call the competitive range. So in this video, I'm going to help you understand what buyer's eyes means, how to establish a competitive range, and then we're going to go on to the next step of downloading and opening that same MLS search guide that we used before, doing our competitive range search, and then opening that new search with the software. So first, let's jump into what buyer's eyes actually is. So when we talk about buyer's eyes, we're thinking about putting ourselves in the mind of a buyer. Now, when they're searching for homes, whether it be on Zillow or through their real estate agent, they're not looking for just $1 price. What they're doing is looking for a range. Now, what that means is they're really searching from, let's say, 500,000 to 400,000, or from 350 to 4, or 100,000 to 150,000, or even 1 million to 1.5. Whatever it is, they're searching in ranges. So thinking about that allows us to really put ourselves in the perspective of, well, when our house pops up at one price, they're looking at other houses that are above and below that house in that range. So we have to really be able to compete, and be a good value in that competitive price range. So knowing that, what we need to do then is go in and think, where are we going to be competing against? So going to our graph we left off on before, and we were thinking that the value is going to be around the 490,000 range. Someone that's going to buy a house at 490,000 is probably going to also entertain the thought of buying houses a little bit above that and a little bit below that. So in this case, theoretically, we could be probably pricing against people that are going to buy a house at 450,000 and be okay buying one that needs to be fixed up and put a little work into, or buying one at 500,000 that's just above where we were thinking. But we're going to have to really compete against that whole range. So what we need to do is think about competing against the $500,000 to $450,000 range in this case. So what you're going to do then is go to your MLS and search for a comparable competitive area for that range. Now, if you still have your resource open, which you can find here through the MLS searching guide, opening that up or finding it on your desk will help you really understand what that kind of comparable locale is. So in this first case, for example, when we go to competitive positioning, you can see here in this little screenshot from this video, same property type as again, homes compared to homes, condos versus condos. In this case, it's comparable locale. Now, if we search by neighborhood in the first case, the comparable locale might be citywide if your buyers look for the full city. If you're in a certain area of the city, whether it be the southeast part of town or a historical district or whatever it might be, it's that comparable location. Now, again, you're going to search for the last 2 years of data, all status activity, but now you're going to also add in that price range, that competitive price window. So I went ahead and did that for, in this case, for the citywide data for the price range of 450 to 500,000. So going back to the program, once you've done that search and exported it to your computer, you're going to upload it using this second button here. You're not going to go back to start here. You're going to go to upload POS or positioning data. Clicking this button allows you to open up your MLS export file, which I saved here on the desktop. And once it loads this in, you're going to have this window pop up. Now, its default is to show the neighborhood. You don't want to show the neighborhood in this case. In this case, you want to type in whatever your pricing range was. And you can write this in whatever way you want. I'm going to do 450K to 500K in the city of Wellington because that was my actual locale search. Once this has been loaded up, you're now ready to start the next step in the pricing process, which is looking at marketing factors and starting to do the competitive positioning.